Hello, good morning, Love Wrestling. It is Tuesday, January 28th, and you know what that means. It's Tuesday morning, it's 10 a.m. It's time for some more Firmly WWE, part of the Firmly Love Wrestling brand here on Love Wrestling. We're going to be diving into a bunch of stuff today. We got the Royal Rumble coming up this Saturday evening, so we will go through that. Obviously not a giant match card to go through, but we will obviously be previewing that and go over the matches, who we think the favorites are in the Rumble matches, and all fun stuff like that. We had a go-home episode of Monday Night Raw that we will be discussing that happened last night. And I do think there were a couple tidbits. Obviously, we have a go-home episode of SmackDown happening at the end of the week on Friday, but I did think there were a couple tidbits to carry over from last week's SmackDown, as well as we are, Drew, the Royal Rumble, a lot of people, they consider that to be the true start of the road to WrestleMania. Feels like we're kind of, the hype and all that has been a little bit longer than usual and a little bit before the Rumble this year with all the big stuff we saw with the Raw on Netflix and all that stuff. But I mean, this is really the time, Drew. This is really the time. When we get to Saturday, it's WrestleMania season officially. Like, we're here. We're in it.
It is sign pointing season.
Almost. The sign ain't up there still. The sign ain't up there still.
A little WrestleMania sign behind me.
Yeah. The sign ain't up there still, but yeah, I think we're getting there. It's almost that time.
I have a picture from I think it was 2019 or 2018 or something, where I sat on the floor. I took a picture.
Pointing at the sign?
WrestleMania sign.
Have to.
And I just sat on the floor and I had it far away and I just went like this.
You have to. You absolutely have to. That has to be something that occurs. You have to. Like, if you get the privilege of going to a show while that sign is up, if you don't take a picture of you pointing at that sign,
I did.
That is a missed opportunity.
2 years ago, I did.
Yeah, that is a missed opportunity. Yeah. So busy week for Love Wrestling and me personally. As you all know, this coming Thursday there will be a special guest filling in for me. Our friend Dan Brown, who we usually see in the chats, friend of Love Wrestling, friend of the Beards, friend of all of us here. He will be filling in for me as the co-host. So Drew will be in the lead chair on Thursday, and Dan will be filling in for me as I will be flying and traveling to Indianapolis, because this weekend, Pluggo and myself, the Beards, are taking over Indianapolis and taking over the Royal Rumble. And we will be giving you and hopefully providing a bunch of fun content and interviews and all good things from this weekend in the Rumble. So that's happening on Thursday.
I will be taking the part of JPJ, so I will bring all of my best sports takes. Football, Super Bowl is coming.
We don't have to talk about that. The most boring matchup that anybody could ever ask for.
I hope Dan's ready to bring the heat. I hope that he's got a lot of hot male wrestler takes, because he's filling in for me that day. So
true.
Dan,
listen, I think Dan,
your hottest wrestler.
I think this is going to be a pretty interesting episode on Thursday, because I know Dan watches AEW and he keeps up with AEW, but he's not like a super duper pro AEW individual. Like, he critiques when he needs more, you know what I mean? Like, we critique, don't get me wrong.
I'm game for it. That's why I invited him.
We critique, don't get me wrong, but I would say we take it easy on AEW for the most part. Like, we get after them when we need to, but we could get after them more, but we don't. because we love them and we adore them. I think Dan's a little more in the middle. So you might get some hot takes.
Now you see what my master plan is.
Yeah, you might get some hot takes on Thursday. But all right, let's dive into this because listen, man, the Royal Rumble, I know I'm going there like as media and that's cool and I love it and stuff, but the Royal Rumble is it's the best. It's my favorite pay-per-view of the year. It's, in my opinion, the funnest, the best. It's just the excitement that comes around Royal Rumble season is unlike any other event, including WrestleMania to me. Like WrestleMania is obviously the biggest one, and I love a WrestleMania. I love a SummerSlam, but like the excitement that comes around the Rumble, everybody talking about who they think is going to surprise and a legend. And like, it's just that level of fandom. And like, it's the one event every year that like WWE like wants their fans to fantasy book. I feel like who's coming in for the Rumble, who's returning, what legend is, it's like that event that I feel like WWE leans into. Like, yes, we want you to kind of go crazy with your imagination to see if you're going to be right or wrong or any of this stuff. It's just to me, it's the funnest weekend. I know it's the beginning of the year, but it's the funnest weekend in the WWE calendar.
Technically, it's not the beginning of the year anymore because it's in February.
That is true. But I just adore the Royal Rumble. So for me, this is my event for the WWE calendar. It's like, oh man, like the Rumble is here. Like, yeah, it's good stuff. I love it.
The Rumble is my favorite as well. I think it's silly for most people to not have the Rumble as like their at least top 3 favorite things of the year, because it not only is it about the winner, it's also about the story that they're telling within the match of who's eliminating who and what feud that's going to start, and a shocking return, a shocking debut, a wrestler, a team breaking up because one decides to eliminate the other. It's really fun, So I'm looking forward to it this Saturday.
Yep, I am as well. Sandy, I think we will get the boss man popping in saying hello. I do think we'll see a couple. Well, you mentioned TNA, Sandy, and there was some news that broke yesterday, news that we all expected, I believe. But there was some news. Our buddy SRS Sean from Fightful, very, very reputable, confirmed on his social media accounts that Jordynne Grace will be heading to WWE. And she will be signing with WWE. WWE hasn't announced it yet, but that's about as reliable as you can get coming outside of the actual company announcing it, which I assume they will even after this person shows up on Saturday, maybe, or right before, or coming up this week. I don't know, but they will. So it looks like Jordynne, and again, this is nothing that should shock anyone. I think we all kind of expected her to even be in the Royal Rumble on Saturday and then kind of be in WWE from that point on. But it feels like it is kind of official, and we should be expecting to see her rather soon. I am of the belief that she should not go to NXT. I feel like she should just head up right to the main roster. That's how I feel about her. Do I think she would succeed?
Although probably that's not what's going to end up happening.
Well, she already kind of showed up in NXT. She fought Roxanne for the title. She lost, but she had a good little few week run there. She was in the Rumble last year as a very cool surprise. Again, do I think she would succeed if she went down to NXT? Of course I do. That NXT women's roster is loaded. She would have a plethora of great matches to have. She would be great. I feel
like it's a little too loaded, though.
Yeah, I feel like Jordynne,
a star of her caliber, probably she should be on the main roster already.
I agree. I feel like she should show up in the Rumble. Second year in a row she's in the Rumble, and then she's on the main roster. I feel like that would be fitting for Jordynne Grace. But either way, very cool that she seems to officially be heading over to WWE. I mean, I can't. It's a terrific signing. She's one of a kind. She's very good. They won't do it, but I would love if she won the friggin' thing, Drew. I don't care. I don't care. Have her debut, win the thing. Her and Rhea Ripley at Mania. Sign me up.
That's not a bad shout. honestly.
Not going to
I
happen.
don't
Not going to
no,
happen. But that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Like that'd be
it would
you
be
want to, yeah,
something
her and
unique
Rhea, that
and not done
matchup of,
before.
yeah, that'd be cool. Won't happen.
Debuting wrestler in the Rumble, winning the Rumble, that would
Yeah,
be
that'd be fun.
a new thing. Yeah.
That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. So how do you, I mean, obviously I assume you're feeling very positive about Miss Jordan Grace to
Yeah, I
over
am.
to WWE.
I mean, I don't watch TNA, but I'm looking forward to seeing her in WWE. There's a bunch of people in TNA that I like. I like the Rascals. I like Ace Austin. I like Chris Bay. Hopefully he's, I heard he's getting better, so that's a positive sign for him. Yeah, there's few people around TNA and in the indies in general that I look forward to seeing, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I think she fits in. She fits in very, very nicely with the women's roster in WWE. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. It should be good. And then the other big news that came out yesterday is not in the wrestling side of things. It's in the entertainment side of things. WWE 2K25, they announced the cover athlete yesterday on Raw. And that is one tribal chief, the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns. He is the cover athlete for the standard edition. They also have a legend edition or something like that where it's the Undertaker's on the cover. Very cool art of the Undertaker with his hat and kind of the purple background. It's a very cool looking. All the photos. Oh, yeah, and then I was going to say, and then there is a Bloodline edition
that cover
that is coming out, and
awesome.
that cover is very cool. It's kind of Roman's head coming out of the tree, and all the other members of the Bloodline kind of in line. Very, very cool looking. I think they nailed all three covers. I think they're all really good cover art. I am obviously a big gamer. That game should be coming out right around Mania time, March-ish, around there. Yeah, should be good. Now they're starting to leak out some different gameplay things. They're returning intergender matches, so you can have intergender matches in the video game, which is nice. I feel like in a video game that should have always been allowed for the most part. It's a video game. So I'm happy about that. It looks like the Bloodline is going to be like the showcase story. Yeah, March 7th. So under 2 months away. The Bloodline is going to be the showcase story, and it showed some stuff like you get to play as Yokozuna, and you get to play as like some like the old. Yeah, that's cool, man. If they're going, I hope you get
Survivor though. Apparently,
no Iron Survivor. Okay, yeah, well, NXT still
isn't.
Could
be like a DLC.
Yeah. Like NXT is part of the games, obviously, but I feel like NXT is not like a focal point of the games, so it doesn't shock me that NXT doesn't get all.
Are NXT stuff. Talent not in the game?
No, they are, but like NXT is not. Oh, you get the. Oh, so they're making you pay $30 extra to play it for a week. That's basically what they're doing there. Yeah. Okay, you gotta love them.
I don't know why
you gotta love them.
Bother with that. Just wait
because you want. I mean, I don't physically buy video games anymore. I just load them up on my system. So like the covers are cool. Like if I was going to choose, I would get the Bloodline cover. I would do that. However, me not buying physical versions of the game, I'm not going to pay an extra probably $20 or $30 that 2K wants you to pay to get it a week early. Yeah. And I get it. The DLC is all included. Like you get that throughout the year, but I'm going to buy that anyway. I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of ways, listen, the world we live in, I just feel like that's hey, you can get the same game 7 days earlier for 30 extra bucks. Okay, well, if you want to do it, spend your money how you want to spend your money. I just think that is what we call in the biz a ripoff. So that's what we're going to do. So anyway, I digress. But nonetheless, WWE 2K25, wonderful. Like I'm a big Grand Theft Auto guy, Drew, right? And they're saying that by the time Grand Theft Auto comes out, which hopefully is by the end of this year, but it could be in 2030. Who the F knows with them? By the time it comes out, they might charge $100 for the game. And I'm sitting here going, I love Grand Theft Auto. I love Grand Theft Auto. Games are already $70 standard. Too much. But you want to charge me $100, not for anything special, just for the standard game, because the game's going to be so big and whatever. And it's like, okay, then they can do it. And it's like, so if we all become conditioned to that's the new norm, then everything is just, you know what I mean? And then next year we're going to pay $150. But yeah, it's just nonsense. Hi, Ophelia. Thank you for that update about that. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. But anyway, all right.
I joined Ophelia and this guy on his Twitch on Friday for SmackDown.
Yep.
We had a
watch along on Friday for SmackDown. Ophelia joined me. You joined me for about the first 2 hours of the show, and then we had our buddy Doc Mueller pop on for the end. But those are always a good time. Last night it was me and Josh Robinson doing the Raw thing on a good episode. It was a pretty good episode of Raw. We did Raw tonight. Me and Ophelia are doing NXT. Couple title matches. Bianca and Naomi are down there defending the tag titles tonight against Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Should be good stuff. So yeah, over on my channels, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 7:45 p.m. Come watch some wrestling with us. We have a good time. All right, Drew. I mean, listen, let's just get on past it real quick. We'll talk about it quickly. Saturday night's main event. That was this past Saturday. I thought it was a fun, good show, but I also thought you've had 2 of these now. You've had 7 total title matches on both these shows, and not one of them has changed hands. It's cool through 2, but if we go through the next one, should we just start calling this Battle of the Belts? Is that what we're going to start calling it? Because hey, I love a good wrestling show. I can watch a good wrestling show. If nothing significant happens on your wrestling show, you're wasting my fucking time. How did you feel about Saturday night's main event?
It was a show that happened. It was, the matches were fun.
They were. I thought the contract signing was even a good with Michaels. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could have used. I could have done without the super kick, but
it's sweet chin music, by the way. But that's all right.
Yeah, well, I could have done without that. And
why? I thought that was one of the better parts of the show.
That's that nostalgia circle jerkings I love doing so much.
But that's all that's happening in this whole. Kevin Owens has been doing nostalgia stuff with the shirts. It's been the whole thing has been.
Yeah, but his thing has meaning. He is doing it to egg on and taunt his opponent. That's what he's doing for.
Yeah.
When is Shawn Michaels and Kevin Owens going to have a match? Never.
I mean, Kevin Owens, I think, has been pining for it behind the scenes.
It's not going to happen.
I doubt it. But...
Anyway,
the
show was fine.
What if Kevin Owens shows up tonight at NXT and attacks Shawn Michaels?
Okay, and then somebody at NXT will step up for Shawn Michaels and fight Kevin Owens because Shawn Michaels ain't fighting.
That's fair, but still.
Whatever. The show was fine. I'm upset that Jey Uso didn't win.
They had me fooled. When he hit that splash, I thought that was it. I thought they were going to do it. I was like, oh my God, they're going to do this. They're going to give this to Jey. And then they just did, and I was like, damn. But I thought Rhea and Nia Jax was a really good match. I thought that was a great opening match. I thought that was really good. But again, there were 4 matches where you kind of knew what was going to happen. You knew Rhea wasn't losing the title. I thought Sheamus and Braun had a real good match. I was going to mention. I wanted to mention that too. I think that was the match of the night. Honestly, I thought that was the best match of the night. I agree. I thought that was the best match of the night. It was very good.
Feeling sad for. Well, I mean, not really. I don't really feel sad for Sheamus because it's not like. I feel like I think you were even saying this. It feels like he's more primed for a Mania win.
Yeah. I think they somehow get this dragged out till Mania, and they do it one more time at Mania, and that's where he gets the crowning moment.
Yeah,
at Mania. That's what I felt going into it. The way that match went, it felt like he was gonna win it at times, and then he didn't, and it was like I still feel like they somehow crown him this at Mania. I just feel like that's what they're gonna do. I feel like it
They
would
were
be the
putting it
fitting thing
over
to
too
do.
much. Like Jesse.
Yeah. Hell
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I saw people ragging on him.
Man.
Dude, I loved it. That's who he was. Even when he was doing it, he always questioned everything. That's who he is. He questioned the referees all the time.
And he is Mr. Conspiracy after all.
But that's who he was. Even in his prime, he would always question everything. I like slamming the table. Counted to 3. It was just like, oh man, I loved it. I think in the 2 Saturday Night's main events, I think that Jesse Ventura has brought a lot to those shows. I really do.
Definitely don't need Hogan around. That's for sure.
No. Oh, we got King Krabby in the chat. He says, poor Oos.
King Crab.
Listen, when he hit the spear and then hit that splash, I was like, oh, they're going to do it. Because we were talking last week and we were like, could they? Like, could they just do this out of nowhere and just make it like, holy crap, this is the moment. You got to watch these shows, blah, blah, blah. And I thought they were going to do it. And it was such a close 2 count. And Gunther kicked out. And I was like, I thought you could feel everybody was like, oh my God, we all thought that was it. And then Gunther just back-to-back power bombs, go home. See you later. Nope. Nice try, kid. And it was just, oh man, I was good. It was good. They sold me a ticket. I thought that was happening. All right. So we had Saturday. Oh yeah, we got to talk about it. Jacob Fatu. So that match with Strowman, that match didn't really live up to the expectations I had for the match. But we obviously saw why, because they did a major angle after the match where Jacob Fatu had his best Bronson Reed moment. And we're going to talk about that, unfortunately, Nathan. There was some stuff that came out there as well. For now, though, I wouldn't be shocked if we see at least maybe a couple more members of them show up on Saturday. We'll see. But that whole Jacob Fatu thing where he absolutely destroyed Braun Strowman, very much like Bronson Reed and Seth, a very similar scene where Jacob Fatu is just repeatedly doing the hip attack to Braun and Braun's blood everywhere. Braun's got blood everywhere.
It looked really awesome.
Yeah, it looked violent. And then we saw the referees and the security and all these people come out, and Jacob did the jump moonsault, the springboard moonsault.
Which he does phenomenally, by the way.
Yeah. So he did it not once, not twice, but 3 times in the ring. Tama Tonga then comes out and is trying to be like, all right, let's get out of here. Like, we've done enough here. He actually gets Jacob out of the ring. They start walking down, and then Jacob comes back one last time, and he didn't do you could tell he was tired. He didn't do the jump up the last time. He just climbed up because he's like, I'm fucking tired. I've been doing this shit for 15 minutes where I'm tired. So he just climbed up and just did a regular moonsault, which still looked a thing of beauty. And it was wonderful. And then, they replayed it last night for us. I assume we're going to see a lot about it on Friday, but it really seems to me the last couple of weeks that Jacob Fatu is being positioned to be a solo monster star.
Solo being the key word there.
Yeah. Oh, you noticed today, and they released some things with WWE 2K25, right? And they mentioned some names in the Bloodline thing, and Solo was not one of the names that they mentioned, which was pretty well. Yeah, I'll try to pull it up as we keep. But talk to me about I know we all are, but I know you're a big Jacob Fatu guy. What did you think of? While I look this up, what did you think of the whole post-match Bronson Reed-esque killing of Braun Strowman by Jacob Fatu?
You took the words right out of my mouth right there. I was literally going to say this was very Bronson Reed-esque. And it's when your baby face is getting pummeled by a big bad heel and the crowd is into it, it tells you a lot. It really does. And it's for Bronson Reed. It made Bronson Reed. And I think I don't think this situation necessarily made Jacob Fatu. I kind of feel like Jacob Fatu was already made. Yeah. Because crowds are into it. They are into it. And him now talking pre-match.
Oh, the best. He's pulling out some MLW famous ones that he had. He did the King Kong and he did that line. You're not King Kong. I'm both. He did that in MLW. That was one of his famous promos.
Yeah. I will be using that line.
You Godzilla and King Kong. Nah, I'm both. That is a MLW. I think he was going against Hammerstone and MLW when he busted that one out. But yeah, I'm glad he brought it back. That's good. It's good.
Yeah, I am very, very much looking forward to more talking from him because out of anybody on the roster, you could say, I would say he's like top 5. If you want to talk about like people who talk and it feels real, genuinely real, he's got to be in everyone's top 5.
Oh yeah. All right, so this is the description from 2K. So there's a Bloodline Dynasty mode in the game, right? That's the showcase mode that you kind of go along with the story. This is think about the names that they say here. It says the all-new showcase hosted by the wise man Paul Heyman celebrates one of the most iconic wrestling family dynasties, the Bloodline, featuring Roman Reigns, The Rock, Yokozuna, Jacob Fatu, and more. No Jey Uso.
Oh, well,
no Solo.
Okay.
Roman Reigns, The Rock,
they like only didn't mention Solo.
Yokozuna, Jacob Fatu, and more. Jacob Fatu's been hot for don't get me wrong, he's been there for a while. He's been like a solo push for 2 weeks. They've given him, and he's on that list over Jey Uso, over Solo Sikoa, who was the tribal chief for the last year. I'm not saying yes, I agree. Yeah. I agree. When all is said and done, yes. But come on, man. They let him start talking 2 weeks ago. You're going to mention him specifically over Jey. You're not going to mention Jey Uso? How is that not Jey Uso?
I have a feeling that means something meta.
Of course it does.
For the story.
Yes.
Maybe that has something to do with the album. I don't know what's going on with The Rock now.
Yeah. I just saw that and I was like, okay. I know they have high opinions of Jacob Fatu. We all do. But I was just like, you're going to throw
the original thing that I think we all thought before The Rock just took a bomb to all of his Cody Rhodes stuff a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think was that the final boss was going to be revealed as the new Bloodlines leader, that Solo was doing the bidding of The Rock.
Yeah. Still could.
But
I guess.
I don't know now. Yeah. I kind of feel like the way that now Solo is nowhere to be. Solo is doing basically what Roman did after Roman lost at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And now he's disappeared, and the enforcer role of the bloodline, or now in this case of his bloodline, just like he did with Roman, is kind of like stepping up.
Yeah.
And in a huge way, as we're seeing. Now I'm wondering if something is to come of The Rock at some point down the line. Could potentially be that now Jacob Fatu and The Rock are aligned in a way, because The Rock in Solo's loss to Roman at the first Raw on Netflix went, I don't think I should put my cards on this guy.
Yeah.
I think it's this guy that I need to set up as the next big thing for my bloodline, because Solo's a loser.
Could be. I'm very intrigued by the Solo part of it. I'm very intrigued. Do we see him on Saturday at the Rumble at all? Or do we think that this is something that is a longer play? Because I'm very intrigued by it.
There's so many things that can happen in this Rumble.
This
very
is good.
One of the
unpredictable.
the stories that are going to come out of this Rumble, I'm really excited for, because the stories already that are going into this Rumble, with OG Bloodline, New Bloodline, Cody, Punk, Sami, Kevin, Drew. I mean, there's heavy hitters in this Rumble. Heavy hitters.
There are.
On the men's, and this is just talking the men's side.
Yeah, the women too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. We have 15. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have 15 men announced as of right now. We have 15 men announced for the Royal Rumble, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 women as of right now. Obviously, I would expect some more women to be announced on Friday for SmackDown. But yeah, so we have 15 out of 30. So half the field has been announced for the men's Rumble, and a third of the field has been announced for the women's Rumble. So they are leaving a lot up to our imaginations here, Drew.
I would love to see some cool surprises. Maybe, I'm gonna guess, probably Becky Lynch.
I would bet. I would bet on Becky Lynch.
We know now Charlotte Flair is going to be there.
How do you? I did want to ask you about that, because we have seen the vignettes the last couple weeks for Charlotte, and last Friday on the vignette, it was officially announced that she is entering the Royal Rumble. And I know I saw some people saying like, "Oh, all right, Charlotte, whatever," and then I saw some people going, "Why would they announce that and not let that be a surprise?" And blah 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 blah. How do you feel about them announcing it beforehand? I personally don't have a problem with it, because I think we're getting a ton of returns, and we're potentially looking at a Charlotte return, a Becky Lynch return, an Alexa Bliss return, an Asuka return.
I don't know about that one yet.
I think they're working us.
That could be.
Yeah. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, Arian, but you're the only one on this channel waiting for that one, pal. But that is what it is.
Judging from how they treated him in a promo last night, I feel like that's not happening.
I would hope not. For the betterment of people and
Paul Heyman basically redid his 1 in 21 promo.
Yeah.
And made it all about Roman.
Yes.
So I doubt that that's happening.
Yes, one would hope. We got a bunch of other, we got new music Inferno popping in saying hello. AJ Styles would be nice. Look, here's my thing. You're starting to hear all these reports. AJ Styles has been hanging around. Asuka has been hanging around. And, a few others and things like that. So, like, the Alexa Bliss stuff, we could talk about that a little bit too, because I do think that factors into the Rumble, because the report was that she was supposed to return on Raw like 2 or 3 weeks ago in San Jose. And that was supposed to be like the big return for her, and she was supposed to be on Raw moving forward. But apparently her and her people want a new deal for more money and whatever. And WWE was very like, no, we expected you to come back on your old deal. We added time to it because you've been out for the last few years with the child and just whatever. And it seems to be a disagreement that is putting things on hold. At least that's what we're hearing. I mean, the report said that she was going to Raw, so I don't know where you're getting SmackDown. But the report said that she was supposed to be on the Raw brand moving forward. Aleister Black, I would not be shocked if that is a return.
Who is supposed to be on Raw?
Alexa Bliss. The report said that she was supposed to show up at the Raw in San Jose and be on the Raw brand moving forward. That's what the report said.
Well, I don't know, because I feel like we are going to address what Sandy just said as well. I feel like Alexa probably would go the way of the Wyatt Six, so that means she'd probably get moved to SmackDown.
I don't know if they're definitely doing that. Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that the report that came out said that she was supposed to return at the San Jose Raw, which I think was the one that was the week after the Netflix debut one. She was supposed to return there, and she was going to be on the Raw brand moving forward. So I don't know. And that Ariane, that's the hope. At least as far as I'm concerned, that is the hope. But that again.
Well, I was saying that for what Sandy just said, I don't think that Zelina and Andrade are getting back together. I think Zelina and a certain person that's going to be probably coming
returning
to the company soon.
Really? You think they go on screen with them?
Why not?
I don't know. They never did before. They kept them separate. They were together the whole time.
I don't know. I feel like you could do something fun there.
Oh, I think you definitely could if they did it right, for sure. Give them like a gothic fucking whatever. That'd be fun. I just didn't. They didn't do it before. Obviously, her and Andrade not desperately. That's wrong of me. I feel like Andrade could use a mouthpiece. I feel like Andrade could use a mouthpiece and have somebody kind of talk for him. Not all the time, but most of the time. And him and Selena, that worked. That worked very well.
Yeah,
that was a good pairing. I would not hate it. All right. If I had to put yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, we mentioned it already. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jacob at number 30. That would be. I think Jacob's getting the most eliminations. I think he's my guy.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
He's my guy that wherever. So 30 probably wouldn't work for me there because I think he's the guy that is gonna. What if they did the Charlotte Andrade?
I would say maybe he's like
in the middle.
Oh, like Charlotte and Andrade. Oh,
okay. They are obviously a real life. So what if they did that?
Yeah.
What if they did that? Because she's coming back as this elegant. The vignettes we're seeing for her. She's on the yachts. And she's got the really nice dresses, and she's out in public getting pictures taken. Like she's playing it up that she's Charlotte, the queen. That is a possibility, Fernando. That is a possibility.
I don't think that it's going to be him, though. I think it's.
I expect Roman to be in the. Yeah. You know what? Let's talk about the Rumble. Let's make sure we get good Rumble talk in, and we can,
Well, listen. Unfortunately, we have to cut this a little early today, but Raw, there's a couple of things that I just want to pick out of that. I don't need to talk about the entire show. The show was fine. The celebrity thing is starting to annoy me a little bit.
Oh, it's gonna be every week, dude.
Yeah.
That's just part of the show now, man.
Yeah.
Here's my thing though. If every week it's fucking fluffy, it loses its luster. He
wasn't there this week.
I have no problem with the guy. I got no problem with the guy at all. I'm not really a fan of his comedy. It's a little too childish, like family oriented for me. I need dirty, raunchy shit in my comedy. But if it's this, you can't show me Fluffy 3 out of 4 weeks and expect me to give a fuck that Fluffy is there. I don't care. I don't care that this guy goes to all the wrestling shows. He's rich. He can afford to. I don't care. It's very bizarre. I don't get it.
They showed some. I don't even remember the guy's name. It was like white or Spanish. I don't really even know what he is. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? The crowd barely even reacted.
They were in Atlanta tonight, and there's a lot of people in the hip hop culture from Atlanta. I don't listen to that type of music. I knew Quavo from Migos. I knew him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew 2 Chainz. He goes hard in the motherfucking game. I knew him. Those other guys, Little Yachty, no idea. Never heard of you before ever in my life. Little Baby, nope. And again, I'm not being one of those guys that's like, I don't know who that is. I just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And again,
that's not for me. Musical people this time, but I didn't. There was like an actor, and I did not know
who was the actor.
Who he was. It was like one of the first celebrities that they showed.
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember his name, but whatever.
And I get like they're doing all different. Like last week, they had the people from the rodeo there. Okay.
Well, last week they had Matthew McConaughey.
Well, that's different. Matthew McConaughey. That's a different level. That's an Academy Award winner right there.
That was cool.
Come on. Yeah. And Kevin Owens giving him shit. Oh, best. It was great. Kevin Owens is just A+ through and through. All right. So the stuff on Raw did you want to discuss the opening segment here with Seth, Gunther, and the returning Logan Paul?
So Seth and Gunther definitely that made me very interested in WrestleMania because they've been kind of like teasing this thing with them,
It's
but
one of the
they've never
tease rumor
pulled the trigger
matches.
on it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be like a real marquee match for this year, because they have they wrestled yet? I don't remember.
I can't remember it if they have. I'm sure that maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so I am, before the main event, I did have like this thought that maybe Seth would win the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
But after the final thing that they showed on the show, which I think I'm gonna gush over, because
we'll talk about that at the end before we go into the Rumble, because that was excellent. That was an excellent piece of business between Cody and Punk.
I thought maybe Seth would win and challenge Gunther, but the other guy was there. I'm not mentioning his name, nor do I give a shit. His part of the promo was his part of the promo.
We're going to talk about him because he was excellent in his part of the promo last night. Again, piece of shit.
I don't like giving.
You got to look at the. We got to review the show, Drew. Sorry. Like, I understand that I can't. I understand the sentiment. I understand the sentiment because he is a piece of shit, and I would rather him not be there. But if he's on the screen, you got to review what's on the screen. And objectively, he is good at what he does. He is very good. And so it is what it is. We can't live behind shielded eyes our whole lives, guys. Unfortunately, there are bad people that are put in positions where you objectively have to view it. And I don't like Logan Paul as much as the next guy. He's a piece of shit. I'd rather him not be there. But at least if they're going to put him on my screen, he could be bad. Imagine he was bad. Imagine he was bad. How much worse this would be. If he was bad, it would be so much worse. It would be so much worse. So I can't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I can't pretend that things don't exist.
The best part about that whole promo was Gunther breaking the both of them.
100%.
Making them both crack up.
Yeah. Also, I loved how
person's name.
How Gunther became a babyface when he started going after Logan. And he was like, "I hope you do win, so I'll break you in half." And the crowd's like, "Hell yeah, brother!"
I have a beef with wrestling fans, and that beef is, if you truly don't like someone, booing them mercilessly is not actually the thing that you want to do, because that is exactly what they want.
Well, yeah, I mean,
word to the wise.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up. That's what.
At some point we have to get over this. At some point. So it is like he's not going in. He's going to be world champion this year.
Okay, that's fine. He. God help me.
He will be. He will be. He will be.
I think I'll be firmly AEW exclusive in that point.
Well,
because
maybe
I will not talk about him as a world champion.
Okay, well,
absolutely
again, we're adults here. We're adults here. At some point, we have to act like adults. And pretending that things don't exist.
Maybe he should act like an adult.
I agree.
Nice if he acted like an adult.
I'm not saying that. I'm not judging him as a person. All I'm saying is we review a show that he is part of the show. We have to review the show that he is a part of. We can't just say, "Oh, we're not paying attention to this, so we didn't like it," just because he's automatically involved. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. There are a lot of actors that act in Hollywood and movies that we all like that are awful people. Do you not? It's not. It is what it is. It's everywhere. There are bands, musicians, where people are terrible.
You give me a person that's terrible, and I'll tell you that they're a terrible person.
They are.
It's as simple as that.
And I'm admitting that he's a terrible person, but we can't not talk about certain things that happen because, you know what I mean? That's a detriment.
He was really inconsequential to the promo.
Yeah, he was there. What he was there for, to get his ass booed because everybody hates him because he's a piece of shit.
Congratulations, everybody! You're playing into it. I watched, and I was seething because this is why I was seething. Okay, because I watched his podcast when Roman Reigns was there.
I actually haven't seen any of his podcasts.
That was like 2 years ago, or
it was a long time. Yeah,
And Roman was giving this piece of shit the playbook on how to treat crowds when they what chant you.
Yeah.
And he immediately picked it up. And eats it up every single time.
Of course
and
it does.
It makes me mad.
Yeah.
It makes me mad because
you know why it makes you bad?
Because he's good. And I'm not refuting that.
Yeah.
I don't refute that he's good. I have sung praises of how he's wrestled the last year and a half. He is a good wrestler. But I don't want him near anything that I like.
And I agree. I don't disagree with that sentiment whatsoever, but I feel like we can't then just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to talk about anything he does when it's,
So help me God if this
he's
motherfucker
not going to
becomes the world champion.
He's not going to. But are we supposed to come on here next Tuesday and not talk about the Royal Rumble if Logan Paul won the Royal Rumble? He's not going to. He's not going to. But if Logan Paul won the Royal Rumble next week, are we supposed to do our show and not mention that Logan Paul won the Royal Rumble?
I'm going to say,
like Logan Paul.
This happened in the match. This was incredible.
Someone won.
Was amazing. This return, this debut, absolutely incredible. Yeah. And then piece of shit won. So we move on to the next thing.
Okay, but we can't not talk about it. You know what I mean? What if?
I'm not talking about this promo.
I know.
I'm not talking about his part of the promo.
It just makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. That's all. It makes me laugh. Polar Knights, how are you?
You want real me? We talked about this. We talked about this the other day when I blew up on Firmly AEW.
Yeah,
that was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. You want the real me? The real me is telling you I ain't fucking talking about Logan Paul. So,
and that's fine.
That's the first time and only time you're going to hear me say his name.
That's fine. But I'm letting you know, like, we need, I agree, Polar, but listen, I'm in the middle here. I agree with every sentiment that you have personally said right now about Logan Paul. I agree. Personally, that's who he is. I don't want him around. I'd rather not him around. But if he's around and he's on the show, we do a show reviewing the show. We need to talk about the show. We can't pretend that segment of the show didn't exist. Because some shithead is on it.
We review the show.
We can't do that.
I'm not talking. Listen. The writers are part of the company. We're not talking about the writers.
But the writers, if the writers were in a segment,
people are part of the company that get attacked every week. We don't talk about them.
If the writers were in a segment where they had a long talking segment that had to do with the biggest event happening this week, we would talk about the writers. We would.
I mean, they write the show, so we should be talking about them.
Listen, all I'm saying is I expect Seth to be in the Final Four of this Royal Rumble. I think Seth and Gunther is a legitimate possibility for WrestleMania for the title, especially on the Raw side of things if they went that way. I don't think that Logan Paul will be in the Final Four of the Royal Rumble. However, I think he will do a spot that people will talk about, much like the spot he did with Ricochet and all that stuff.
That one. And I will not mention it.
And Gunther, it feels like Gunther is not going to be on the Royal Rumble card at all because he fought on Saturday night's main event, and I have a feeling that was kind of his championship thing for the moment. Anyway,
I want you to know that I say what I say as a former. Can't believe I'm going to say this publicly.
Mickey Mouse
as a former fan of the Logan Paul.
Just Logan, or were you a fan of both? Were they both always?
No, just Logan.
Okay.
Never liked the brother.
Yeah.
A former fan of Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Watched his podcast. I listen to Gashi right now because
I don't even know what that is.
Was on Logan Paul's podcast.
Who's that? I don't even know what that is.
That's a singer. But the point is that I liked him. I was on the Redemption tour. I ran with it. I was watching his podcast. I was watching his vlogs. And I know that I was duped just like a lot of other feeble-minded people.
Well, okay. So now I know. Now I know why. So there's a little history there, which is why you have I fully agree with your sentiment, but I didn't buy into that crap. So maybe I don't know.
So I feel bad for other
What are you gonna do
Mavericks.
when he does become world champion at some point, though?
You know what I used to be part of? The Low Gang. Okay.
See, like I don't even know.
That's a
I
word
don't
you
even
probably never heard before.
See, this is what he wanted. Because you were so anti, you didn't even want to mention his name, and now we spent 5 minutes talking about this guy. When all I said is
Because of you, not because of him.
No,
I didn't want to fucking talk about him.
No, I just said that he was part of the show. We got to mention his name. He was part of the show. That's all. Now you're talking about his podcast. You're talking about gangs that he was a part of. I don't know any of this.
Why I feel the way that I feel. So this way it's understandable.
But now it does make more sense to me because you were duped. You weak-minded child. You were duped.
Yes,
by this man.
I wasn't even a fucking child. That's the worst part. Anyway, let's move on from this fucking douchebag.
That is tremendous.
Rey Mysterio and Xavier Woods had a really fun match.
That was good. That was a fun match. What did you like? They did the Xavier Woods family stuff, like Kofi's mom, kind of.
Yes, and I think I liked the way they did this one even more.
Yeah, they weren't there at the beginning. They weren't there.
He's like, my mom and my family, they're going to be sitting there front row. I paid, these tickets were expensive. I paid for these tickets. And then they weren't there to start the match. It was like, well. And then, so they end up showing up late.
Yeah.
And Kofi's like, hey, they're here. And they go up to them and they unzip the jackets. Everybody's wearing it under it's such a like campy, but really just fun.
Yeah.
It was so awesome because it's like, how are they gonna do this now? Because obviously if Kofi's mom hates him, Xavier's family is gonna hate him too. Mm-hmm. So the way that they did that was excellent. And then I think it was Lil Baby or somebody. There was like a musical artist that was sitting next to them.
I think that was Little Yachty. That one.
And Kofi tweeted, "Oh, that guy! What is that guy doing there? He wasn't even supposed to be there. And he's wearing that shirt. I'm taking all his music out of my playlist now."
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was very good. It was very good.
That was very good. Oh, and before that, I jumped a little bit ahead. Before that was Judgment Day and War Raiders.
I was going to say we got to put JD McDonough. We got to put JD McDonough over here.
You want to talk? Fuck the guy that we were talking about before. That guy can eat shit and fucking never be on TV again. JD McDonough.
Damn, dude, that spot against the table.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Holy! And Michael Cole jumped out of his seat. Michael Cole literally jumped out of his seat.
You could hear there was no storyline. There was no acting. There was no any of that stuff coming out of Michael Cole the moment.
No, you could feel the straight concern. He
was like somebody. He was
like a parent.
Michael Cole, the human being.
I was like dad mode. Michael Cole.
Someone check on this man right now.
Holy, he starts yelling. He could have broke his. He's screaming. And yes, he did put on Twitter today that he has a couple broken ribs and a punctured lung. So he's like legitimately going to be out for a while.
He collapsed.
Holy
Apparently,
crap.
I saw a report that
I saw a picture. He collapsed like right when he got like in the walkway they were treating him. Holy, because first of all, he continued the match. First of all, absolutely continued the match, and then he took like two. And then he took like 2 or 3 more shots to like the back of his like that. He took like a dropping knee to the back of his neck again from one of the War Raiders. Like, holy moly!
Yeah, really gnarly. And I hope that
he
gets better soon.
Man,
shit,
that was impressive. That was impressive, and that match was good. That was a good tag match between those boys, even with him getting beat up like that. My God, what a spot!
So really, the only other thing that sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, it was another good thing. I continue to love how they're handling this New Day stuff because yes, the match with Rey was good, and the stuff with Xavier's family I loved. Oh, yeah, we should probably talk about that, Fernando. We'll talk about that real quick right after this. But I still love how they had a segment right before Xavier Woods' match. And I think we got to put Kathy Kelly over, too, because she was excellent in this segment.
Oh, yeah.
She was excellent. Yes. But even before that, they have Ludwig Kaiser and Pete Dunne talking to each other, who are like two truly like detestable heels. Detestable.
Yeah.
And the New Day shows up, and they're even disgusted with the New Day. And I just think those little things of like Ludwig Kaiser, for as great as he is, he's like the shittiest of heels. He's a shit talker. He's smug. He's fucking like him and Pete Dunne are like literally detestable heels.
Yeah.
And they looked at the New Day with looks of disgust, like, you guys are gross for what you did to Big E. And even they are disgusted at New Day. And I think that touch of like even the worst of the worst heels looking at New Day as the worst of the worst is like, it just brings a smile to my face. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, Ludwig Kaiser, David, is incredible. He's a main event guy for them whenever they want him to be. 100% main event guy for them whenever they want him to be. Yeah, but then the segment with Kathy Kelly, where Kofi's like, Atlanta's favorite son has come home, Kathy. And she goes, Braun Breaker? And he's like, no. He's like, Austin Theory? No, Atlanta.
Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. And she just, it was so good. And Kofi's like, oh, and Xavier's like, what the hell? And he's like, it's me. It was so good. That was a lot of fun.
Are we ever going to get the tag team match that was supposed to happen?
I don't know.
Like it's not.
I don't know. We'll talk about it. Another thing I liked early, because we're going to talk about Cody and Punk, because the end of that was just mwah. Earlier in the night, the Sami Zayn Punk thing in the back, I enjoyed that as well. Because Sami Zayn went up to Punk. Too. Yeah. Sami Zayn goes up to Punk and he says, hey, I just wanted to come up and talk to you face to face about what you said last week. You said that I'm not on your level. And he goes, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you face to face about that because I agree with you. Because only one of us standing right here has main evented WrestleMania. And that's me.
That was
and not you.
That was so good.
So you're right. You're not on my level. We're not on the same level. I was like, fuck yeah, Sammy. Fuck yeah, Sammy. We're going to talk about Sami Zayn because it was a week ago on this chat that Dan Brown, who will be joining you on Thursday for Firmly AEW, said something about Sami Zayn that I actually agree with. And the more that I think about it, I'm buying in on. So we will talk about him in a second because I thought the Sami Zayn Seth stuff in the back was also really good. I really like everything they're doing with Sammy. I am really intrigued. They did the stuff where he accidentally kicked Rollins last week with Drew, and then they talked about it tonight. Then they had the match was okay. So the main event match of the evening. Also, Bianca Belair and Naomi had a great tag match with Liv and Raquel. And Liv and Raquel won because of Dom. And there was a report yesterday that they are going to push Liv and Raquel heavy in the tag team division. So I would expect Liv and Raquel to be the people that probably take those belts from Bianca and Naomi whenever that happens here heading into Mania. So they did the Paul Heyman stuff where he talked about WWE 2K25. They did the cover, but Drew comes out. Drew McIntyre. This all kind of goes hand in hand with each other throughout the end of the show, which was pretty good. It's like kind of all layered together. Like the last hour of this show was all layered on top of each other, and it all made sense for how everything went the rest of the way. It was pretty cool. Yeah. So Heyman does all the, he does all the WWE 2K stuff. He's talking about Roman winning the Rumble, blah, blah. Got the Ula Fala back, blah, blah. Drew McIntyre comes out. He says that, he starts talking about Roman and all that stuff, and he gets close to Heyman. And at one point, Heyman goes, "You're crowding me. You're crowding me." I feel ya. I do love how they incorporated Sammy in the Bloodline cover. I'm glad they did. So McIntyre gives him his space, and he goes, "Oh, Paul, I have a favor to ask you." He goes, "Can you go tell your boy that I'm going to target him on Saturday, and I'm going to beat him within an inch of his life and eliminate him?" And I was doing my watch along with Josh, and I called this because Paul Heyman, he says, I will pass the word. I promise you, I will pass the word to the tribal chief. And when he said that, I looked at Josh and I went, I don't think he's talking about the tribal chief. I think he's talking about Phil. I said, I think he's talking about Phil. And then Drew stops him, and he exactly says that. He goes, wasn't talking about Roman. He goes, I was talking about your boy, CM Punk. And Heyman kind of gives Drew a nod, and then Drew says, get the hell out of here. So I was like, okay, I don't mind that. And then that led into Drew versus Sami. Good match. Another match that Sami Zayn loses to Drew McIntyre. Drew cheated, though. He had to put his foot in the ropes during a pinfall to cheat. But Sami Zayn is now 0-11. 0-11 versus Drew McIntyre.
Yikes.
0-11. So then Drew starts beating the crap out of Sami after the match. Cody comes out, makes the save. He's brawling with Drew. Drew sets Cody up in the corner, very similar to how he did with Seth Rollins a week ago. And out of nowhere, once again, Sami Zayn comes with the haluva kick. Drew gets out of the way, and he smashes Cody in the face with the haluva kick.
The same playbook as last week.
And Kevin Owens was involved here. He came in there to try to get Cody. So there's a bunch of people. He hits him with the haluva kick. Kevin Owens stands next to Cody, stands next to Sami. He pats Sami on the chest, like, good job, bud. And KO leaves. Sami's pissed off and upset, like, oh, God, I fucked up again. And then that's kind of it. And then we come back from like commercial for the ending segment, and Cody is down in the corner.
I thought that was the end of the show.
I thought it was too. I was like, is that the it? Is that how the show's ending 2 weeks in a row with Sami kicking the wrong guy? But they came back. Cody is kind of beaten down in the corner. But he's cutting a promo. He's looking up at the Undisputed Championship that's raised. That and the Winged Eagle are raised where they'll be for the ladder match. He says that he's learned it's not about the physical belt. It's about the mentality that makes you a champion, the work, the mindset, all that stuff. He says, I show up first, I leave last. He goes, I cannot wait till the Royal Rumble where I can finally just end this and start looking past Kevin Owens. And right on cue, CM Punk's music hits. CM Punk comes out. He asks Cody if he's all right. He goes, hey, man, I'm being serious right now. Like, are you all right? He goes, I'm a friend.
Sniveling shit he was in this promo.
Yep.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
He goes, I'm asking as a friend. I'm worried. That's all, that this is starting to get to you. He goes, I know what that belt means, what that title can do to a man. He goes, I was champion for 434 days back when, and somewhere around the 300 days, I started to get burned out, and it turned me into someone I didn't enjoy being.
That was Raw 1000. I remember it well.
Yep. He says, I've lost friends because of that title. I see you losing friends. I get it. You want to be Bruno Sammartino. You want to be John Cena. You want to do it all. He goes, but none of them are Superman. This was a great promo, Jason. This was a great promo. And then Cody says, so then Cody says he doesn't have a lot of friends, but CM, you're one of them, right, Phil? Punk says he's happy. He's helping partly as a promise he made to Cody's to Dusty, in part because he loves him. And then I puked in my mouth. And then after he said that line and I picked up the vomit, he said he feels he let him down by not preparing him for this. He says, but his dad couldn't have done it either. He's the man, unequivocally on the top of the mountain, and when you're the champion, you have no friends. There's a target on your back, and everybody's out to get you. Punk says that in the short term, whatever. What's going on? Oh, yeah. Punk says in the short term, Cody, you're in your hometown. You get to go to sleep in your own bed tonight. That's rare. He goes, but I bet you're not going to sleep at all because you got an early call time and you got to be doing promos for the Rumble and all the champion type stuff, blah, blah, blah. He goes, but maybe you get to go home and start having some good time with your wife and your daughter, things like that. He keeps on going in. He says, it's the biggest match of your career. And then you're going to crisscross the country because if you make it past Kevin Owens,
your career thing, they say that a lot.
They do. Seth was Yeah, Seth
That
was saying
the
it
biggest
earlier.
match.
Yeah, Seth was saying it earlier, So it's one of those things where that's what happened, right? So he's talking about Raw, SmackDown, all the traveling, blah, 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 blah. Less time with your daughter, empty nights in front of sold out stadiums, feeling empty and all this stuff. And he goes, little kids in the merchandise, somebody going to bust your ass. Somebody's going to be in the best shape of his life, and they're going to meet you in the main event of WrestleMania and take that belt from you. And he goes, and that's the good news, Cody. He goes, the bad news is that
before you say it,
yeah,
I was watching it with people, and I said, and as soon as he said, and that's the good news, and I said, and the bad news is that I'm gonna be the one to do it.
exactly.
And then he says the line.
Yep.
Oh,
and he goes,
just added so much more for it.
Yeah. The bad news is that guy's gonna be me. And he goes, unlike all your other friends, I'm a true friend, so I'm gonna stab you in the front. Which was good.
Oh, this was his best promo since returning. This promo right here. This was this. Well, go ahead because there's more, and then we'll get into.
Yeah, there's more because I thought Cody was also
Cody's retort.
Yes.
Ooh.
So he says he's gonna win. The Punk says he's gonna win the Rumble. He's gonna see him at WrestleMania. He's gonna stab him in the front. Cody then grabs the mic and he says, "I respect you telling me that, but I want to share something with you." And then Cody goes into it. And he goes, when I first got into this business, when I showed up at OVW, you were there. We were the only two that wanted to learn arm drags from Greg Gagne, and you were the man. Everybody was chasing you. He goes, then you got the call up. You won the title, and I came up shortly after you, and I was chasing you again. And he goes, and then there's a whole 10-year period where you were at home and me and others were out here wrestling, still here, and everybody was still chanting your name. And even though you weren't here, we were all still chasing you. That was a great line. That was a great line by Cody. And he goes, but that dynamic's changed. Our relationship has changed because I'm not chasing CM Punk anymore. He goes, you're chasing me, which was excellent.
Oh, man.
It was excellent. And he goes, so I hope you win the Royal Rumble because I want you to catch up. And then he goes to leave and Punk grabs him and goes, not yet. And Punk says, a lot of men have told me they wanted me to catch them. And there's a whole graveyard of careers of guys who wanted that right up until I did. And then Punk goes to leave and then Cody stops him. And Cody says, I'm not done. He goes, because I want to see the look on your face when you find out that the best in the world isn't the best in the world anymore. And then he dropped the mic. And that's how the show ended with Cody and Punk. Oh, great stuff. Great end of the show promo.
I want to really quickly pull up a Cody promo. Because he had mentioned it was the promo that started the what do you want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about promo in AEW? It was his last AEW promo before the TNT ladder match with Sammy Guevara. That he specifically mentions Punk in. I think Punk was already in the company at this point.
Yeah.
Was he in the company at this point? Sure. Yeah, because that was 2022. Yeah, so he was in the company already. And I wish I had like I only have the video here, but I don't want to listen to the video.
No, we can't.
But
we'll get thrown off. We'll get thrown off of YouTube.
Talked about the pipe bomb promo.
Yeah.
And like how he was doing what Punk said he was going to do.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Like going to Japan and Ring of Honor and all that.
Because everyone thought we were going to eventually lead to a Cody and Punk thing in AEW because, that was the promo where he said, hey, CM Punk said he stood up for all this stuff and he was this guy, but I'm the guy that actually went and did all the shit that he said he was going to do.
Right.
And he didn't.
He specifically says, I remember, in the void that CM Punk left behind.
He did. He left a big wrestling
step up.
Yeah.
Cody was the one to step up.
Yeah.
He says that in this promo, and the dialogue in this promo at the end by Cody made me think back to that promo and how real this actually is. That everyone up until this point has been chasing Punk. And now, because he finally got the big title, the top title that Punk was pointing up to because they were hanging up above the ring, the only thing that Punk has not done yet is what Cody has done, is what Sami has done, is what Kevin has done, and that's Main Event WrestleMania.
Yep.
And he's now chasing that. And that dig at the end, I'm not chasing you anymore, you're chasing me. That was the perfect way to end this.
Yep. I loved it. I thought, usually you end up with the brawl where everybody comes out and they're all brawling, and it's see you this weekend at the Royal
brawl.
Rumble.
There haven't been that many brawls actually.
No, they must have heard. They watched the show. And they were like, "Oh, that guy's on to us. That guy's on to us. He keeps on talking about it." But I thought that was I thought it was a good go-home show to Raw in general. I thought there was a lot of good matches. I thought the opening promo segment between the three individuals that Drew pretended there was two, I thought that was really good. I thought the ending segment was excellent. I thought we had a bunch of good matches. I thought Ray and Xavier was great. I thought both tag matches, the guys and the girls, were excellent. I thought that was a good episode of a go-home show, and that ending sequence with Punk and Cody, I want that match now. I want that match.
So my thing now, so we can.
We're going to talk. Yeah, let's transfer. Yeah, we can transfer over to Rumble talk.
Rumble,
because Punk has to be one of the 2 to 3 favorites.
Final.
Has to be, right? One of the 2 to 3 favorites to win the whole thing. Him and Cena, and
I honestly think Cena, Punk, Sami, and Seth should probably be the final 4.
Oh, you don't think Roman makes it to the final 4, huh?
I don't think so.
All right.
Because, and that I was going to mention it earlier, but I wanted to save it for Rumble talk. I think the next time we see Solo Sikoa
is in the Rumble
is because he cost Roman, and he might not even be in the match.
Yeah.
But I feel like he might do similarly to what he did to Cody 2 WrestleManias ago, where he pops up on the ramp, pops up on the apron, and does the Samoan spike. You remember when he did that?
Yeah.
And I feel like someone in the match will take advantage of him doing that and toss Roman, and that's going to be
probably Jacob Fatu, right?
I'd imagine so. Think? If he's in the match.
My thing is, I would love if Sami was in the final 4. So Dan Brown, like I said, who's joining you on Thursday.
Yeah.
He was in this chat with us last week, and we were talking about Sami. And he said that he thought that this Rumble, the 2025 Rumble, was going to be the start of the story to Sami winning the Royal Rumble next year in 2026 in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
That makes all the sense in the world to me. Because Saudi Arabia and Sami Zayn clearly have a big history. Like, that's a big thing they do when he shows up at those events. Him winning the Royal Rumble there and then heading to WrestleMania as the underdog babyface to win a world championship, finally. To me, and I mentioned it last week to you, I feel like that would be the closest thing to like Daniel Bryan vibes that we would have seen. Because I feel like everybody will be rooting for Sami Zayn. Everybody. And I feel like that was a really good shout out by Dan last week. And I've been thinking about it whenever and I think that's dead on. Because what I think is going to happen is I think KO, we saw it last night when Sami kicked Cody, he patted him and he was like, good job, man. Because in KO's mind, Sami is helping him on Saturday. In KO's mind, he believes that Sami is going to have his back and help him win against Cody. And then KO is going to help Sami win the Royal Rumble. Well, guess what? Sami ain't going to help Kevin during that match. And Cody's going to win that match. And then during the Royal Rumble, Kevin is not going to enter the Royal Rumble, but he is going to insert himself in the Royal Rumble, and he's going to throw Sami Zayn's ass out of the Royal Rumble as payment, a repayment. And I think that is how we get to Sami and KO at Mania, because I think that's the match this year. That's how we get to it. And that's how I think that is what is going to happen, because KO is delusional because he thinks he wore a Sami Zayn Forever shirt last night.
Yes. Yeah,
he thinks that him and Sami are on the same page. You help me. That was the promo last week. I know you're going to win the Royal Rumble because I'm there and I have your back and I'm going to help you win the Royal Rumble. Just like I know I'm going to beat Cody because you have my back and you're going to help me beat Cody. Well, Sami's not going to help you beat Cody and you're not going to beat Cody. So guess how Kevin repays the favor? He's going to make sure that Sami does not win the Royal Rumble. And I think that's how we get to what we get at WrestleMania. They did that tease when he did the thing in the car with Michael Cole. He said, oh, Sami Zayn. He goes, I'll get to that in time. Well, time is WrestleMania. That's time.
Well,
and I think that's how, well, yes, but I think that's the start. And then but I think that's what we're going to get. But okay. Sami winning the Rumble next year in Saudi Arabia, what that would mean to just him and that I feel like is something that could happen. That's the only reason why I don't think Sami makes it to the Final Four. But I like everybody else. What did you say? You said Punk, Cena.
I said Punk, Cena, Sami, Seth.
So I think you could throw Roman in there instead of Sami, maybe. And that Final Four is holy. Because you could still do the solo stuff with Roman in the Final Four. But maybe that would be just straight up. So that wouldn't be somebody else dumping out Roman, though. Unless they did it in a way that it was one of the other four guys that did it. But I don't know.
I don't think Punk wins though now because of this promo. I don't think Punk wins because I think that's where the Paul Heyman favor comes into play. I think the Paul Heyman favor, however that works out.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? What Sandy just said, that would be a phenomenal.
Yeah, I feel like Drew and Roman in the Final
Seth
Four.
Drew Roman?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Listen, so, all right. Here are the 15. We're talking about the men's Rumble. We will talk about the women's a smidge here as well. But this is the 15 guys that are in the men's Rumble right now. We have Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Chad Gable, Penta, Logan Paul, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Rey Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, Seth freaking Rollins, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, CM Punk, John Cena, LA Knight. That whole list of guys right there.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous 15 guys.
It's Roman, and it's also this is an important one or two just because it's Roman's first
Rumble
it's his first Royal Rumble
in like 5 years. Since 2019.
2019, yeah. That's 6 years.
Yeah, no, 2020 because Drew dumped him out in 2020 to end it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which I do think that they're gonna do something with that. Obviously, it was referenced last night in the promo with Drew and Paul, but like they're clearly going to do something with that too, with Drew and Roman in the Rumble at some point too. Right now, all right. So Drew, obviously, it's hard to preview a Royal Rumble match. You can only preview. So let's talk about the men's, and then we'll go through the other non-Rumble matches real quick, and then we'll talk about the ladies. Right now, you have to pick a winner right now because it's Firmly AW. Before we get out of here, who is your pick? Oh, yeah, sorry. Firmly WWE. Whoops, that's on Thursday. Who is your pick right now to win the men's Royal Rumble? And chat, let me know who you guys think. It's hard. It's hard. In my opinion, it's harder to pick the lady. It's harder to pick the ladies one even than this, and they're both hard to pick, in my opinion. I'm going Cena as well. Sandy, Randy Orton, that's a good show.
Like Cena, probably. Although I'm going like Cena. I would have rather Cena won the Elimination Chamber, but
yeah,
I feel like probably it's Cena.
We got King Krabby saying Braun Breaker. That'd be fun. So we got a Cena, we got a Cody, we got a Braun. Who'd you just say? You said Cena as well? You just said Cena?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Cena. But there's so because I think what would be
of the 15. All right, let's do this. Do we think LA Knight has an actual chance to win the Royal Rumble?
No.
John Cena.
Top 3.
Punk.
Top 3.
Uso. Jey Uso.
No.
Roman Reigns.
I would say the 3 of them are the ones that should win it.
You would probably have what? Seth and Drew would probably round out the top 5, probably.
Yeah.
And then Sami is probably on the outskirts, 6 maybe, as of right now.
As of right now, yeah, I say Cena is definite. But here's a really interesting thing that probably is not going to happen, but I just fantasy booked this in my mind while you're talking.
Yeah.
A replay of last year's Rumble season, Rumble to Mania, where the winner doesn't actually, well, like how they were originally going to do it, the original plan. Oh, I'm going to pick you, but not at WrestleMania where The Rock comes in. What if they do this? What if they have Roman win, and then it turns out that The Rock actually is coming back for this WrestleMania, and
these are all things that are,
the favor that Punk has is him taking advantage of Rock getting Roman out of the title match, and then it puts Punk versus Cody as the title match instead.
Good. Listen, I think there are all.
Punk is turning heel in this, 100%.
I need a couple people to turn heel. I need Seth Rollins to turn heel soon too.
Well, I think Seth,
Drew, and KO,
Punk really could be a whole stable of anti-bloodline.
Yeah,
people. Like they did the bloodline thing.
Although Punk helped, Punk helped the bloodline in the fucking War Games.
Yeah, but Sami did too.
Yeah, but Sami's part of the bloodline. He wouldn't be in that group.
Oh no, not Sami. Sorry. Sami. There's got to be something to Sami's. The thing that they were doing last night, and they've been doing for like a week or two, of Sami like starting to come to terms with maybe helping Roman was not a good idea. Because everyone now is,
everybody's coming at Sami.
Drew did it the week prior.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, so you helped this guy. Yeah, congrats. You know, go be his lapdog. Go back to and I feel like that's I don't know. There's so many stories and layers to this that can branch off into 75 different
ways. That's the
thing,
yeah.
That is like, it's so hard to even predict a winner right now.
Yeah, and I think Scott, that's a good one. If he says if Cena doesn't win it, Seth does, and picks Gunther, then maybe Cena wins at Elimination Chamber and goes after Cody.
I think Punk and Cody is WrestleMania's match.
I think look, there are rumors, but I think Punk and Cody is what they're. You think Punk and Cody?
Yeah.
I think Cena and Cody is what they're hoping for.
I don't know. I think Cena and Gunther makes more sense.
I agree. I originally, for months and months, have said it should be Cena and Gunther, with Cena winning the Rumble and choosing Gunther. That is what I feel like should be the match. But Punk and, after that, yeah. All right, so we have 2 non-Rumble matches. We have Cody versus KO in the ladder match, which we've talked about. I expect Cody to win that. And then we have a tag. Stop the fucking presses. But the tag titles are getting fucking defended at a PLE. I don't know if hell is frozen over or not, but the tag titles are getting defended, and not just one match, Drew, but a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yeah, that's interesting.
DIY going against, this match is gonna fucking kick so much ass. DIY against Motor City Machine Guns. We've seen DIY's history with 2 out of 3 falls matches, arguably one of the best tag team matches in WWE history, with the Revival in Toronto in a 2 out of 3 falls match at NXT. This match is going to be ridiculously good from a tag team wrestling standpoint. 2 of the best teams in the world, 2 out of 3 falls. This is going to rule. I think DIY retains. That is where I'm leaning. I think that this will lead to a 4-way. I think we're going to end up with a multi-tag team match for the titles at Mania because they're involving Pretty Deadly and the Los Garzas. The Street Profits are still injured, but kind of in the distance.
Hopefully
I think we're getting
come back by WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think we're going to get some sort of 4 or 5 way tag team, multi-team match at Mania, and I think that's where Motor City Machine Guns gets the belts back from DIY.
Yeah, so it'll
but
become
DIY,
a fatal 5-way, and the Hardys will be back once again.
Maybe, you never know.
Because
and then we have
like WrestleMania 33.
And then we have the Women's Royal Rumble. This is the match that I expect to start the show. I think this match is going to have a lot more big returns and a lot more surprises in it. We only know 10 of the participants, but the 10 that we know are, again, a lot of heavy hitters. Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, and Io Sky. So those are the 10 ladies that we know. So we still have, again, 2/3 of the field have not been announced yet. So we still have to know a lot more people in this. But I think the person that's going to win is on that list, Drew. I think they're on that list.
Who is it?
I am going with Io Sky right now.
I had a feeling you were going to do that.
I think Io and Rhea. But I think we can expect to see Jordynne Grace in this Royal Rumble. I think we can expect to see a returning Becky Lynch in this Royal Rumble. I think we're going to see a returning Asuka in this Royal Rumble. And I know there's been reports. I think we're going to see Alexa Bliss as well. I think they're going to figure that out before the Rumble. Jordynne Grace could win. I think Bayley will be near the end in the Final Four, trying to go for the back-to-back. I do think Bayley will be involved. AJ Lee would obviously be the biggest surprise we could see.
That would be amazing.
Gigantic. But there's rumor of Nikki Bella making a one-off appearance. I feel like we're going to see a lot of cool surprises here. Could
maybe get a legend or two.
Yep. I think
Victoria just signed a Legends deal. She'll probably be in it.
Yep. I think, Jason, you're probably right. I think Jordynne Grace has the most eliminations. I think she, at the very least, shows up and kind of runs through.
People as well.
Yeah, well, I expect Roxanne Perez in this Rumble. I expect Cora Jade in this Rumble. Layla we've seen Michelle McCool a lot, Sandy. I would love, that's what me and Josh were talking about last night. I want to see Layla. Where's Layla? Where's Eve Torres? Where's Caitlyn? Where are those ladies? It's been, don't get me wrong, I love seeing Molly Holly. I love seeing Michelle McCool. I love seeing Lita and Trish, but it's been those same women that have been in like the majority of these Rumbles.
Some fresher legends.
Like where are the other, like it's always Kelly Kelly. It's always Tori Wilson. It's always Michelle McCool. It's always Lee. And again, I want to see those ladies. I do. But like, where the fuck is Caitlyn? You know, where the fuck is Eve Torres, who is a multi-time women's champion? Where is Victoria? Where is Tori? Do we remember Tori from Kane and DX? Tori? Where is Tori? The original Maxine. Yes, that's a good poll, Sandy. Where are these level of women? I want to see some of these people. Now, they're not going to win. They don't matter. But I want to see them, damn it. But if we hear AJ's music, holy shit.
Oh, my God.
That's probably the biggest return pop they have left, I think, in the whole company. Truly. Like when you think about like the great return pops that they have left, that's got to be the one, right? Is there anyone, male or female, that's bigger than that? Honestly. No. I truly, honestly, I think the ones that would be, we've seen Stone Cold come back these last few years. We've seen The Rock. We saw Shane McMahon all the way back. Like we've seen these big ones.
Punk.
We saw
came
Punk.
Back and got a major pop.
We saw Punk. Like who else could it be? Like, she is the biggest return. Yeah, exactly, Sandy. Definitely not Hogan. She is the biggest return pop that they have, either side of it, the coin. No question.
And people have been wanting it for a while now. So there's anticipation every
I'm not doing
Rumble
it
now. I think for the last couple of years.
I'm not doing it. I did it last year. It didn't. I'm not psyching myself up for it. But if it happens, Mickie James is that would be another great one, Krabby. She's been in one before as when she was the TNA champ. But Mickie James, you know who I would love to see since they have the TNA thing? I would love to see Gail Kim. I would love to see Gail
Oh, yeah.
show up in this Rumble. That would be fun. That would be fun. She deserves it because she left quitting in a battle royal. That's how she left. She eliminated herself and got the fuck out of it and said, Vince, screw, I'm out of here. Good for her. But Gail Kim showing up, having a little mini run, all for it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
All for it. Let's do it. But all right, so I'll do it again. We have less participants here. Less. If you had to pick right now.
My God.
Could it be someone that hasn't even been announced yet? Could it be a Becky Lynch?
I feel like maybe Charlotte would win.
Oh, I'm sure that'll go over well. I'm sure that'll go over with
all
the Charlotte haters.
That to happen because
with all the Charlotte haters, everyone be like, "Yeah." I want her to be in the final two, just so everybody can be shitting bricks. Oh fuck, they're gonna do it again.
I'm thinking of like who the champions right now are: Rhea and Tiffany.
Correct. Charlotte and Tiffany seems like a match already made. It feels to me.
Oh, Maurice, great shout.
I think she going through some health things, maybe.
Oh, is she?
I thought she was sick with stuff. But yes, Maurice would be one of the great entrance songs of all time. Maurice.
Man, the two champions that are the champions right now that are going to be the champions going into WrestleMania.
It's Charlotte and Tiffany on the SmackDown side. It has to be.
Yeah. Because they already did Charlotte and Rhea. And there's no, like, connection there right now.
I would be very in. They teased it last night on Raw. I would be very in on a Bayley Rhea. We've never seen Bayley and Rhea. I'd be very interested in that. Stacy Keibler's been in a few of the Rumbles, but that would be a good surprise. That'd be a good surprise. She's got legs.
Yeah.
I've heard she's got legs.
Yeah, I think Charlotte for Tiffany and Bayley for Rhea. But didn't Bayley just win a Rumble?
She won last year. She's going for the back-to-back like Cody, which is why I don't think she'll do it. They're not going to do back-to-back winners 2 years in a row because Cody was back-to-back last year. I don't think they're going to do it. I think it's going to be Io because Io and Rhea, they had that stare down holding the belt when they were both going for Liv. They did that thing on Raw a little while ago. I loved the Io Bayley interaction last night where Bayley announced, her and Rhea did the thing and she turned around. And then Io was standing there and she just said, "See you Saturday," and walked away. I was like, okay. Jordan Grace, I think, is a dark horse, I would say.
Maybe a returning Asuka. Asuka and Rhea would be.
My thing is, I think Roxanne Perez is in this Rumble, and I think Roxanne Perez eliminates Bayley. Because they've been feuding for the last couple weeks on the main roster. Nah, she's under contract with the AEW. She's the best wrestler in that company.
Haha.
I think that's
what people were saying last year.
I think that's a ha.
Last year was like, she's returning in the Rumble. She's returning in the Rumble.
No. But Christy Hemme, that's a good one. That's that level of women that I'm talking about. Like, give me that stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like the one thing that I do like before we get out of here in a minute is I feel like I don't know who's winning either Rumble.
And I
feel like I don't know who's winning either Rumble, and that is significantly better for all of us, but me personally, because I feel like we had a stretch for a long time where it felt like Eva Marie. Look, I would pop for Eva Marie, though.
You know what? I mean,
I would pop for it. I think there was a long stretch where we kind of knew who the Royal Rumble winner was going to be for like a decade straight. Like, we were like, oh, this guy's winning the Rumble. And even when they first started the women, it was like, okay, yeah, this is happening. I feel like we're going into a Royal Rumble this year where I have ideas of who I think is going to win, but I really have no idea who's going to win either one of these Rumbles. And I think
the men's Rumble is legitimately probably the most anticipated and just like the amount of things that are going to happen in that match.
Yep.
That we're just not going to know until it happens because
Mandy Rose, that's a good one. That would be a good one.
That's you can't even like predict everything that's going to happen because there's so many things that can happen.
Yeah, I fully agree. And Sandy says best Rumble ever. I think. I mean, listen, the event needs to happen.
This one has the potential to be.
Yes, it really does. It really does. It has the potential to be one of the best Rumbles we've ever seen because there are a lot of things open for surprises, a lot of things open for Who knows what's going to happen? The storylines they can build in these matches heading into Mania. This should be really, really good on Saturday. It should be really, really good. And Drew and I will be here. The Iconics would be wonderful. I think one of them just had a child. But I think if you could get one of, if not both of them, if they are healthy enough, I want to say Peyton Royce just had her second kid with Sean Spears there. I want to say. And I expect some TNA people. I expect Joe Hendry in the men's rumble. I expect to see him, new TNA champion. I expect him to pop in there. Alicia Fox would be fun. There's a lot of ways we can go. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be Foxy baby. Foxy baby. It should be really good. I'm very much looking forward to being in Indianapolis and getting to experience it that way. It should be a hell of a lot of fun.
Have a great time. You're going to have a blast.
I will try.
I'm a little jealous, honestly.
I will try. It should be fun. We got a lot of things lined up, hopefully getting some good content out for everybody. We're going to try to do a vlog of sorts and things like that. And then we have the junket and all the WWE media stuff as well. So it should be a good weekend. Excited to see Pluggo again. Excited to see some of my other media pals again and just have a good weekend watching the Rumble. And yeah, man, having a good time. Drew and I will be back next Tuesday reviewing the Royal Rumble and the episode of Raw after and all that fun stuff. But Thursday, Drew, I know we mentioned it, but somebody's going to be here filling in for my absence. So let the people know who you got coming in on Thursday and all the fun stuff, and then plug your things.
Yes. So follow me here at the Drew Nicholas on Twitter and Blue Sky on Firmly AEW. This Thursday, I will have the lovely Dan Brown joining me, a friend, as JPJ said earlier, friend of Love Wrestling, very funny man. Come join us. We are going to talk about AEW. We're going to talk about interesting things happening in AEW. Very, very good collision. One of the better collisions of quite some time. And
very good.
Yeah, and hopefully a very good Dynamite. And the state of AEW going into Revolution and Grand Slam, and of course the return of Timeless Tony Storm.
What a segment.
The way that happens.
What a segment.
And we're going to talk about all that fun stuff. And Dan will plug all his stuff on Thursday as well. And you've never watched a minute of AEW. Well, I mean, that's possible to never watch a minute of things if you're not into it. That's cool. If you want to come and join us on Thursday anyway, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, Krabby, if you're a wrestling fan and you still watch wrestling actively, I would give AEW a chance. It's not for everybody. You might not like it. It's definitely a different type of wrestling show than what you get on WWE, but they got a lot of good people. They got a lot of good things. They do a lot of things that are frustrating from time to time, though, where you're like, what the hell are you doing? But it's good stuff. Tony Storm, though, is, again, this is a WWE show. I'll let you and Dan talk about it on Thursday, but Tony Storm, that segment on Collision was A++. Like,
wasn't how I thought they were going to do it, but it was wonderful.
Fucking incredible. It's just as good as it gets, man. As good as it gets. But yeah, so Thursday, tune in to Drew and Dan. I will be on a plane, but if I have Wi-Fi, I will at least say hello in the chat. But I'm flying literally like as the show starts. So it's kind of like, I'll see what I can do. But yeah, and then like I said, we'll be back normal next weekend. Everyone enjoy the Royal Rumble. Enjoy this weekend. You can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including Twitch, where we play video games. Obviously, we have a shortened scheduled week there. I should be live this afternoon for a little bit. Tonight, though, I do have a watch along on my channel. It is me and Ophelia that you see in the chat. Peggy, we are watching NXT tonight. Obviously, there will be no Friday watch along, as I will be in Indianapolis for SmackDown and all that stuff. So there's no watch along on my channel then. But tonight we're doing NXT. I'll be live on the Twitch this afternoon. And then tomorrow I'm going to try to do my one long stream of playing video games for the day, kind of the day before I travel, as I'm kind of settling down to get out of here. So that's where you can find me. Also, note for our Love Wrestling people, me and Pluggo are doing a live Between Two Beards tomorrow night. First time and most likely one time only. Between Two Beards will be live on Wednesday this week. because we will obviously be traveling and in Indianapolis on Thursday when our normal show
after
airs.
Dynamite, correct?
Yes. So Boris will be doing the watch along here on Love Wrestling. He's usually with Peggy. Once they get off the air at 10:05, 10:10, you're talking 10:15, 10:30. Me and Pluggo will be coming on. We're going to have a few special guests, people you like. One of them I will announce right now. It's Ella J. Our pal Ella J is joining us, and we have another pal joining us, and we'll be talking about the Royal Rumble, talking about what happened on Dynamite, and just kind of having a regular Beards episode. Tomorrow night, I would say aim for 10:30. Aim for 10:30 p.m. before we get out of here. So, all right. Other than that, this Friday night, LPW 33, Cool Beans, IWTV, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. You're not going to want to miss this one. I mean, you really don't want to miss any of them. It's some of the best independent professional wrestling in all of Canada. But you do not want to miss this one. It's a good one. And there's even bigger shit happening soon. But anyway, follow us, follow Drew, follow me, follow Firmly Love Wrestling on social medias. Follow everybody. Drew will see you Thursday. I'll see you guys next week. Appreciate all of you. And until next time, you know the drill. Peace out.